Alright, so there's more guys that way. Here we goes. Are we done?
There.
Okay, we're
You can
done.
open the life pod now.
Good. I've always wanted to open the life pod. Let me just pick up some ammo. Since we're here. Alright. So it's not a really special mission, really. You just kind of walk in, kill some dudes, and pick up your loot. It's alright. Decent mission. Okay.
There, you've got it. Goddess. It may take him some time to fully regain consciousness. Be careful, he's confused. Remember, it's been 50,000 years for us, but for him, it's only been...
A few minutes!
No, the bunker is falling. There is no other option.
There are pods online! Those soldiers are still alive!
Their sacrifice will be honored in the coming Empire. Preparing neutron bombardment. Get to your life pod now.
Neutron bombardment. Didn't really work out for you guys, did it?
Neutron bombardment underway. The bunker is secure. Commander traffic.
What is left of it? Few hundred people. How am I to rebuild an empire from that?
Further adjustments may be necessary. The neutron purge compromised the facility.
Clarify.
Sensors are damaged. Automated reactivation is not an option. You will remain in stasis until a new culture discovers this bunker. This may lead to a power shortage.
Do not shut off more pods! I need the few that are left!
Power needs will be triaged appropriately.
That was an utter failure.
Will be the voice of our people.
I mean, it seems
More than that.
it seems unlikely, doesn't it? Only one guy survives. Out of how many?
How many others?
None.
Just you.
Like, how many Protheans were there?
You can understand me?
Yes. Now that I've read your physiology, your nervous system, enough to understand your language.
So you were reading me while I was seeing...
Our last moments. Our failure.
Yeah, you're a failure, alright.
Your people did everything they could. They never gave up. And I could use some of that commitment now.
Shepard, whatever you did got Cerberus interested.
Asari. Human. I'm surrounded by primitives.
It's not safe here. Will you join us?
You fight the Reapers?
Yes.
Then we will see.
He's an alright guy. Not really.
A living Prothean.
That's correct, Admiral. But he's not quite what we expected.
Commander, our scientists barely understand what they need to do here. If the Prothean can help us construct this device, we need his cooperation.
Understood, Admiral.
We're losing colonies faster than we can evacuate. We've never seen a force like the Reapers.
He has, Admiral.
Can he help us?
I intend to find out.
Good. Cerberus slipped up and gave us a new weapon. Don't let it go to waste. Hack it out.
Alright.
Shepard, I need you down in the port cargo hold. It's about our new guest.
I'm on my way. What's the problem?
I've tried to make the room more accommodating, but they're not letting me talk to him.
Apologies, Doctor. Contact protocol with a new species. Assume hostility. We had to dust off the regulations.
But he's not new. I've spent my life studying Protheans.
It's not the same, Liara.
At ease. I don't think our guest will be a problem. Will he?
That depends on you. I can sense fear in you, anxiety and distress. The Reapers are winning.
What do you mean, you sense?
All life provides clues for those who can read them. It is in your cells, your DNA. Experience is a biological marker.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Wow. Who
And
wrote
what
this?
exactly did I experience back on Eden Prime? That was a hell of a flashback.
The battle left its own mark on me. I communicated this to you. It can work both ways.
Like your beacons.
Yes. Which... You found one. You saw it all. Our destruction, our warnings. Why weren't they heeded? Why didn't you prepare for the Reapers, human?
It's Commander. And nobody could understand your warnings. The beacon nearly killed me.
Then communication is still primitive in this cycle.
We pieced together what we could, and used it to stop a Reaper invasion 3 years ago.
Then the extinction was delayed.
Now we have your plans for the device. We're going to build it.
Device?
The weapon your people were working on. I'd hoped you could tell us how to finish it.
We never finished it. It was too late.
Then I take it you don't know anything about the catalyst.
No. I was a soldier, not a scientist. Skilled in one art, killing.
What was your mission?
Among my people, there were avatars of many traits. Bravery, strength, cunning. A single exemplar for each.
Which are you?
The embodiment of vengeance. I am the anger of a dead people, demanding blood be spilled for the blood we lost. Only when the last Reaper has been destroyed will my purpose be fulfilled. I have no other reason to exist. Those who share my purpose become allies. Those who do not become casualties.
Nothing in our fight against the Reapers has been that cut and dried.
Because you still have hope that this war will end with your honor intact.
I do.
Stand in the ashes of 1 trillion dead souls and ask the ghosts if honor matters. This silence is your answer.
It matters to me, bro.
We found this at the dig site. I assume it belongs to you.
It is a memory shard.
Could it help us with the device?
No, it contains only pain. But I will help you fight. And the last thing the Reapers hear before they die will be the last voice of the Protheans, sending them to their grave.
If you don't mind, I have a few more questions I'd like to ask.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
I've written over a dozen studies on your species. I've published in several journals that...
Amusing. Asari have finally mastered writing.
I'm sorry.
Never mind. What do you wish to know?
Bro, it's been 50,000 years, alright? We're not that primitive anymore. Also, whoever wrote the story in Mass Effect 3 doesn't understand anything about biology. Or they're taking extreme liberties. Actually, no, they don't understand anything about biology. Because they say things about evolution that are just completely wrong. And then this... DNA... Memory is a genetic marker? No, it's not. It's not. Your genes don't carry your memories. They're two separate things. I mean, I understand that maybe you can detect certain chemicals or pheromones or whatever it is through touch. I said that you might be able to sense fear through touch. That's kind of possible because they say that dogs and wolves, they can smell fear, and it's true because when you're afraid, your body gives off certain chemicals, things like adrenaline, to get your body moving. That they can sense. So I get that, but actual memories, no, that's complete nonsense. That's complete fantasy. And the thing is, like, you can't. I mean, you can write science fantasy, but you can't write something that contradicts what we already know. Like you can't say in an imaginary world Earth is flat. That kind of, okay, well, I guess you can, but it's weird, right? Or it has to be a different Earth. It's not our Earth. You can't say that in the future our Earth is flat because it doesn't work like that. You have to say a different planet happens to be flat. You can say that. So it's a bit strange when you conflict. I mean, it's not just science fiction where you're kind of speculating as to what might happen in the future. You're kind of, because you don't know the future, right? So you can speculate, but you're kind of trying to rewrite things we already know, which makes no sense. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's what I think. Like, the guy who wrote the story doesn't know anything about biology, seriously.
We've never seen a species with this sensory ability you have.
It was common among my people, imparting experience through touch, the chemistry of life. Complicated ideas could be absorbed in seconds.
That sounds very useful.
We evolved as hunters. Reading 1,000 details in our environment ensured our survival.
That makes no sense. I mean, the Asari apparently can join their nervous systems to other people, and that's how they reproduce. Kind of makes sense. I mean, if the Protheans can do similar things, that kind of makes sense. But it doesn't mean that it's through genes or through DNA, because that makes no sense. It's through the nervous system. The Asari does it through the nervous system, and that makes sense.
Beginning to understand the beacons a bit more.
Later, we developed technology to harness our ability. Information could be stored in certain objects through touch. Memory has its own biomarker, its own chemistry, as do knowledge and skills. The beacons could remember these things.
Things like Reaper invasions.
Yes, I can still sense the turmoil in you, witnessing the extinction of our empire. The fabric of your being was forever marked that day.
There's a difference between your nervous system and your genes. They're two separate things, man. I mean, who wrote this? It's bad. It's just bad storytelling.
So, could you read something about this room?
There was liquid, a form of incubation. The DNA of a Krogan who lived here. He was powerful, prone to violence.
I'm impressed. His name was Grunt.
And if he were my enemy, I would have given him a wide berth. There is great strength in his genes.
Liara here would never forgive me if I didn't ask you. What was Prothean civilization like?
Yes, I've always wondered, what sort of government did you have, and can you tell me about your religious beliefs, or perhaps the...
We are dead now. What does it matter?
I'm sorry. Studying your history has been a lifelong passion of mine.
When I was born, our empire was already at war with the Reapers. The first thing I remember was seeing my planet on fire.
What was your civilization like before the Reaper attack?
We were the dominant race of our cycle. We ruled the galaxy.
My studies indicated you were the only race engaged in space travel at the time. I always found that curious.
We were one empire composed of many subjects. All eventually called themselves Prothean.
What if they didn't want to?
They weren't given a choice.
They're that sort of empire.
Are you saying you enslaved the other species?
Any could oppose us if they wished, and if they had won, they would have ruled. Many tried. None succeeded.
I had no idea Protheans were so... severe.
It was by necessity. Very early we encountered the dangers posed by machine intelligence. They rebelled against us.
We've had the same problem. They're called Geth.
We could not allow the machines to surpass us. It was decided the only way to win was to unite all organic life within our empire.
Did it work?
For a time, the Metacon War, we were turning the tide until the Reapers arrived. Then we understood machines had surpassed us long ago in ways we could never imagine.
So that's another part of the Mass Effect story that isn't really consistent. The so-called conflict between machines and organic life. I mean, according to this, the Protheans had to fight against AI in their cycle, and he says we couldn't allow the machines to surpass us. Although, you know, I've discussed this earlier, like the machines, they don't have the same priorities we do, they don't have the same needs we do. They don't need water or food or air, which means there's really no reason to fight over anything, like there's no resource conflicts between machines and organics. But for some reason, this particular story, especially in Mass Effect 3, they become obsessed with that. In Mass Effect 2, they kind of stopped pursuing that particular line. I mean, in the first game, there's the Geth and Sovereign, and you have to fight them. So superficially, it was you fighting robots, but it wasn't really the case. The Reapers were something else, really. In the second game, you had Edie, the AI. I mean, she's on your side. You had Legion, the Geth. I mean, he's on your side. So it was the life in the galaxy against the Reapers. That was the second game. In the third game, they bring back this organic versus synthetic thing, which doesn't really make sense. And also, if the Metacons, if the Protheans were fighting against the Metacons in their cycle, what happened to them? I mean, they got wiped out by the Reapers too, right? Otherwise, they'd be here right now. So it's not like the Reapers are actually helping synthetics neither. You see what I mean? Like if the Reapers were machines and they were helping other machines fight organics, what happened to the Metacons? They're gone too. They got wiped out just like everyone else. So the Reapers aren't actually here to help machines. The Reapers are here to just destroy everyone, it seems like. So we'll see more of this later on in the game, and especially in the ending. It's actually doesn't actually make sense. It conflicts the rest of the story, and it's not as powerful a story too. Like organics versus machines, like it's not a good story. It's a stupid story. It's just fear of things that are different. I mean, why do you have to destroy machines? Just because they're different? That's literally racism. That's literally based off fear. It's not a good story to tell, to be honest. I mean, that should not be... It's not a good thing.